Well, it's Wednesday. Leaf training camp open up today. That's fantastic. Hockey's just around the corner. It's also AEW Dynamite time. And a lot of things happen on Dynamite too. Looks like there's a few things going on in the next few weeks. That is really interesting. Looks like a couple of feuds are starting about to really come up and about as well. And guys, make sure if you like the content here, make sure you like, share, subscribe down below. But enough of that pitter patter. Let's just get at her. Anyway, on today's show, AEW Dynamite. Well, big match announced for the 5th anniversary of AEW Dynamite on October 2nd. Jon Moxley and the rest of the BCC are kind of insane now. And Hangman, well, he's just as insane too because he just wants to apparently fight everybody. And everybody wants to fight him. But today, though, we start off with the trios match. The Elite versus Osprey, Takeshita Takeshita, as well as Kyle Fletcher. And this was a huge match when you think about the implications for next week's Grand Slam. Next week's Grand Slam, obviously, it's a huge thing. There's a lot of title matches on the line there. They go through it over to the night, too. What's interesting about this, though, is that Kyle Fletcher and Will Ospreay, as well as Takeshita, won the match against the Elite by Kyle Fletcher pinning the Young Bucks Matt Jackson after Osprey hit and bladed Nick Jackson to get him out of the ring. They did the finisher that they usually do. A lot of big points this match, though. A lot of high points. One point being where Nick Jackson said suck to somebody before he put somebody's face in the ground and then did a flip over to the backside to take out somebody on the outside. Then got back in the ring. A EVP trigger almost happened to Will Ospreay until Fletcher actually stopped that from happening. But the interesting points of this match, though, were that Takeshita and Ospreay seem to not be on the same page with anything. Looks like Takeshia's still pretty pissed off about a lot of things with Will Ospreay. Also, though, Takeshita seems to have his sights set on the Continental Championship with Okada or something in New Japan. Because he was staring at Okada the entire time while Okada was going up the ramp with the Young Bucks at the end of the match. And he was not very happy with Ospreay. They tried a couple times. They tried on the wrong page. Ospreay only got on the same page with them. Takeshita did not even shake Will Ospreay's hand at the end of the match, even though Ospreay was trying to win. Takeshita kind of shoved him out of the way like he was a piece of garbage. Look, man, that's Will Ospreay. You guys will be doing that, all right? But all in all, it was a really good match, though. I said lots of high points. Go at it. Take a show out of there, right? It's really good. Highly recommend watching it. But I mentioned Will Ospreay. Now, moving on to the next story. Will Ospreay and Ricochet are set to meet on October 2nd at AEW's 5-year anniversary of Dynamite. It was announced tonight after Ricochet's match with the Beast Mote, which was a very good matchup too. It was kind of one of those very quick matches. Moist Mote had a few shots in there. At one point, he headbutted Ricochet, knocked him out almost onto the floor, almost on his ass. Well, Ricochet ends up winning the match without a problem. After the match is over, they're doing an interview with him in the backyard. And that's when Osprey comes and says, hey, man, I want to apologize for things going a little too far here. We know each other for a long time. Respect you a lot, yada, yada, yada. Ricochet says, hey, man, I understand. I took your advice, though. You said go and get a couple wins. Well, I went on to tell you the match to Tony Khan, and that's when they announced the match. Osprey seems to be very almost like kind of shocked that it happened so quickly, which is fine. I mean, this match was going to happen at some point. I'm surprised they're not doing it for AEW Dynamite's the 5-year anniversary. They're not doing it at a pay-per-view or that stuff. So that's kind of interesting. You're going to wait on for free TV. Stuff like that you probably should put on a pay-per-view. Probably a lot better off for a lot of people. Probably better buy rates, but I guess ratings mean a lot for them too right now. It's going to be a hell of a match. At one point, Ricochet said son. Basically called Ricochet Osprey a boy. They're going to have, everybody seems to also be gunning for Ricochet. Ricochet's just kind of be Ricochet. So everybody seems to have a shot, wants to take a shot at Ricochet, which is fine. But Osprey versus Ricochet, though, is going to be one of those matches where it's going to defy it. It's probably going to main event the show. It'll be for the international title as well. You know what? You can't really go wrong with this match there. It's going to be huge. Probably they changed, almost like they changed wrestling about 5 years ago. They met. Now they're going to meet again in AEW this time. So it'd be interesting to see what goes on in this matchup, who's going to win. I don't think Ricochet is going to win this match. I think it's going to be Osprey, but it's hard to tell right now. It really is hard to say that Ricochet will win this. I'm thinking right now, if Osprey does win, right, that it's going to be if Osprey loses, it's going to be due to some kind of outside interference. I think. I don't think it's going to be a clean win. I don't think it'll be a clean win for Ricochet. I mean, it's hard to say that it won't be. It's hard to say that it will be too as well. It's kind of 50-50 on that. I'm kind of torn to who's going to win. I don't know yet. Next week's Dynamite might tell a little bit more as to what goes on, though. Like I said, though, October 2nd is AEW's 5-year anniversary of Dynamite. So keep in mind that match will be on there. Let's get to some. Speaking of like big matches and all stuff, they talked a lot about Grand Slam, which is next week. Now, the big match on that show is Jon Moxley versus Darby Allin. Now, the BCC had a fair bit amount of showing on this episode here. At one point, Private Party did an interview saying they're coming after the BCC for what they did last week. Well, they didn't disappoint. When Jon Moxley was coming out to the match to just have his little interview and talk, they attacked BCC. BCC retaliated by beating the living hell out of Private Party to the point where Jon Moxley had ISIAH tied up with Claudio and Maria Shiver holding his hand out, and Moxley had a hammer in his hand. He said, "Where the hell are you? You've been doing things that you started, and this is where you are now. You've done nothing the whole time you've been here. I'm going to give you a little gift." And he basically broke his hand. So Private Party's been written off TV for a little bit, which brought out Darby Allin. Now, before that, though, when Private Party was attacking him, Claudio was just a beast right now. They have him really set up as a beast. And he just pummeled the other member of Private Party. Right? At one point, Commander comes out and he tries to do something, and Claudio just, as he comes flying through the air, just uppercuts, European uppercuts him right and drops him on the ground. Like he's nothing. Claudio's just sitting there like, "Yep, I did that. Done." Just looking like an absolute monster right now, Claudio, a part of this group. Now, the member today who was not there was Pac. But we did see Pac earlier in the show. And he did like a little bit of what happened, a little bit of an interview later happened early after Collision happened. And he called out Wheeler Yuta. He goes, "Yuta, where you in? Don't know where you are. Right? You have to defend our trios titles coming up. We have to defend them coming up on Grand Slam." Now that match is supposed to happen. It's supposed to be Private Party versus the BCC's trios for the titles. But that's probably not going to happen now. It might be somebody else. But we'll find out though later on. Probably next week. So BCC was out there. Like I said, minus Pac. Darby Allin comes out and says, "You still don't realize the fact that I'm not the same person." They square off for a little bit. Nothing really occurs. No really hitting. He kind of attacks on Moxley, but not. Again, the ring, like I said, they square off a little bit. Moxley leaves. That's what Darby Allin says, "We'll see. I'm going to beat you at AEW Grand Slam. Then go on to the AEW Wrestle Dream and win the world title." Look, that's probably not going to happen. Let's be honest here. It's probably going to be Moxley beating the living crap out of Darby Allin, because Darby Allin's going to do some insane stuff that causes him to get hurt and just do something stupid. Fair enough. So Moxley didn't probably end up winning that. Therefore, Moxley will probably have taken on whoever the winner is of the Danielson versus Nigel McGuinness match. That match is still set to go until Bryan's not cleared. Right now, nobody has heard a word about Bryan Danielson as to whether he's going to be cleared. They're keeping it very, very close to the belt, hush on this. I'm sure next week he will be there, though, for the show. But BCC has become just ripping people apart. They're just going back to the way they kind of were when they first came in to AEW, when they first started with William Regal. And now they went off a little soft for a while, and now they're going back to that. It's interesting to see what goes on here. I said, I don't think Darby Allin is going to be the one that beats Jon Moxley. I think Moxley is going to beat him. I know I'm biased here. I'm a Moxley fan. I get that. We love Moxley here at the channel. Speaking of channels, though, if you guys like the content here, make sure you like, share, subscribe down below here. Right there. A little red thing that has a little hand that goes boop, like beep. Make sure you like, share, subscribe there. Make sure you follow us also on Podbean and Spotify. And apparently, according to Douglas, we are on iTunes. We're just waiting for it. Make sure that's confirmed soon, but I think it probably is. Anyway, but yeah, Moxley versus Darby Allin next week at Grand Slam. All right. Now, I said the other guy, Hangman, he's kind of crazy too. It's almost like AEW's become like the crazy man show or crazy group show where everybody's just going, certain people are just going absolutely insane and just beating the hell out of everybody for the sake of beating hell. Hangman is still obsessed with Swerve. He beat the living hell out of him. He hit Swerve with a chair shot while he had a syringe in his mouth. And he won the match in the lights out match in the last pay-per-view. And he said, last week he attacked Jeff Jarrett. This week, he has had an interview with Tony Schiavone. Hangman starts talking about how while he was out for those 4 months, all he heard was people cheering for Swerve. Despite all the things that Swerve did to Hangman, he was so shocked and still upset that everybody cheered for Swerve. So he started saying, everybody started cheering for Swerve. Everybody's a target. Everybody who ever cheered for Swerve, supported Swerve, is a target. He said that last week. Now, he mentions that even commentary was cheering on Swerve. He looked at Tony Schiavone. He goes, Swerve's not here, but you are. And just as he's about to attack Tony Schiavone, Jeff Jarrett comes out. And Jeff Jarrett goes right at him. They start brawling between each other. Right? Jarrett just wants to get his hand up. They get Hangman's getting out of there. The security's all over the place. They're blocking off Hangman. Hangman's out looking at his eye like he just, saw a ghost or something. I mean, it is the ghost. I mean, it is Jeff Jarrett. He is pretty up there in age, and he's kind of a ghost at this point. Beats the living. He just tries to beat the hell out of him. He doesn't. Jeff Jarrett says there's a lot of people in the back there that want to kick the hell out of you. Many people. There's a lineup. And the last outlaw, Jeff Jarrett, is the first one in line to beat the hell out of you. He says, "As God my witness, if it ends my career or not, I will beat the hell out of you before his career is over." Well, that match is probably going to happen sometime soon. Probably next week at Grand Slam. If not, probably AEW 5-year anniversary, because they haven't really announced it yet. But this is going to happen most likely. Hangman is just a nut bar too. Hangman, I'm surprised, hasn't joined the BCC because he's just as nuts. But that's okay. Hangman wants to be in his own man. He doesn't want to be in a group with anybody. Sure, no problem. Hangman is going to probably fight Jeff Jarrett sometime in the next few weeks. And I'm sure that might be possibly one of Jeff Jarrett's swan songs. Who knows? We'll find out. By the way, guys, make sure you're ignoring the fact that I'm wearing a Rock shirt. I know we're calling AEW here, but please just ignore it. This is a Rock shirt. It's just a shirt, man. It's a gym shirt, guys. Just take care of it. Don't worry about it. No, if you want to comment down below about it, sure. It's a nice one, though. See? It's quite nice. The Rock, the Bravo, forget that ridiculous tattoo. Also, on the card tonight, we ended up having Hook versus Jobber. There's Roderick Strong on there. Roderick Strong was doing commentary. Just, ripping on Hook, saying he's going to meet Hook at some point. Hook went and beat the Jobber. Nothing crazy. Really wasn't. Hook saw them, left, shook us off. Eventually, next week or so, they're going to meet. And I'm sure, they got to make sure this FT title thing is just like going away or something, because there really is no point to it. There really isn't. I get it. It's the FTW title. It's Taz's title. I understand that. It's Hook. He's Taz's son. I completely understand that. But let's take the title off of Hook. Stop having him wear like it's a badge of honor all the time, because he doesn't need to have it. Have him go for other titles. Have Roderick Strong, then have the title. Let's try and elevate it in some way, shape, or form. Because you're not really elevating much with Hook. Let's be honest. You really aren't. I hate to break it to you guys. It's just not happening. Anyway, we start off the show, though, with OC. With Orange Cassidy versus Chris Jericho. And boy, there's a lot to watch in this one. It started off with Orange Cassidy comes down with Mark Briscoe, with Kyle O'Reilly. Obviously, Jericho came down with the rest of the literature, the Redwood, as well as the Bad Apple. And they all started brawling. Obviously, Jericho versus Cassidy was the main focus, so they pretty much stay in the ring. At one point, Jericho puts Cassidy through a table on the outside. They get back in. They're still fighting. Every so often, the literature would try to interfere in the match to take out Orange Cassidy, and Kyle O'Reilly would come out, and he would take out the Redwood. But they would continue to fight all the way to the back again. Eventually, the Bad Apple tried to do the exact same thing, and Hal Briscoe comes out and does the exact same thing. Takes them all out. And just eventually Orange Cassidy ends up winning the match here. Okay. With the orange punch, but he had a handful of quarters to deliver that orange punch, which Chris Jericho brought into the match. So he ended up winning. Obviously, this is going to continue. It's going to happen because you know what? Chris Jericho said, well, you used my coins against me. You know, that you cheated. So this is going to continue on, folks. Right? More Chris Jericho, more versus Orange Cassidy. I understand Chris Jericho is trying to, still be relevant and all that stuff. And I get that. I like Chris. I have nothing against Chris Jericho as far as career goes or as a person goes or any of those things. But I think he really needs to leave for a while. I really do. I really enjoy Chris Jericho. I just think he needs to go away for a while, like several months. Maybe not come back till next year. And just stump this learning tree thing. The learning tree thing is just annoying. It's not even like funny. It's not even like good. It's just the learning tree. The learning tree. I hate it. But that's me. I'm sure some people actually love you. Love the learning tree, Chris Jericho. That's fine and dandy. That's your opinion. This is my opinion. The show. I'm allowed to have my opinion on it. Anyway, Mariah May and Serena Deeb had a match. Serena Deeb versus Queen Amanada, as well as Yuka Sakawi. I don't want to butcher your name. Girl named Yuka, Japanese wrestler. Anyway, it was a good match, back and forth. Mariah May and Serena Deeb are winning the match. Actually, they don't win the match. I'm sorry. Mariah May caused a DQ. Right? She hit Yuka with the title because Yuka was kind of spouting off the entire time. Right? She ends up hitting Yuka with the title, causes a DQ. Then she continues to beat the living hell out of her with the title. Very similar to how she beat the living hell out of what's it called? Toni Storm. Gave her a little kiss like she always does, and beat the hell out of her some more. But we got some bright news here. We're getting the return of Mina. Mina is coming back very soon. Right? She had a little bit of a post-match promo talking about how Mariah May, how she's missed Mariah May. She doesn't like how Mariah is turning into, but she does miss her. And she wants to come back and see her. She'll have a celebration with Mina, with Mariah May and Mina. Now, Mina is probably going to, at this point, I'm assuming, turn on Mariah May. I think that's the best thing. I think that's going to happen. That match will probably happen at Wrestle Dream. Mina versus Mariah May, probably for the women's AEW World Title, which is fine. I'm okay with that. I like both women. I think they're great. I love Mariah May. I think this character with her is great. She's a bit of a psychopath. I like psychopaths. That's why I like the BCC so much. That's probably why I like Pac so much. That's probably why I kind of really learned to like this Hangman Page character. He's just a psychopath. I like psychopaths when it comes to wrestling. I'm a messed up person for that. Sue me. Comment down below if I'm a nutcase. It's okay. I accept it. I have a tough skin. Anyway, like I said, lots of feuds really coming out of this whole thing. You got obviously Moxley and Darby Allin. Right? You have the potential Takeshita versus Osprey versus also Okada. Takeshi's filling his plate with stuff, right? You have obviously the feud with Fletcher and Osprey versus the Young Bucks, and as well as Osprey versus Ricochet in the next couple of weeks, right? As well as Mariah May, who will probably feud with Mina going into the Wrestle Dream. So there's lots of feuds going on, lots of stuff going on. Hangman's obviously feuding with absolutely everybody who likes Swerve. They'll probably fight me if he had a chance to, because Swerve. Because he's probably upset too, because Swerve was on the top 10 of the PW Insider. I don't think Hangman really was. So yeah, he's probably upset by that too. And if he was on it, he was higher up than Hangman. So Hangman's probably even more upset about that. Anyway, guys, that was AEW Dynamite for this year, of Year of our Lord, September 18th, 2024. That was it. All in all, it was a good show. I give it a kind of 6.5. Let's say about there. 6.5. Sounds good. Hey guys, make sure you like, share, subscribe down below there. Comment in the comments. Don't forget to follow us we are on TikTok at DA Wrestling or DA Sports. We're on TikTok on X on DA Wrestling, as well as Doug is on there as D Lions 91. I'm on there too as AM Purcell 1982. Make sure you follow us on Spotify as well as Podbean. Get the Podbean stuff going on, man. I make Doug feel better too. Make all of us feel better too. Right? It's a small click for you guys. It's a large click for us. We thank you very much for all the support. For all the people who do support us, we thank you very much. As always, hopefully we get some t-shirts soon. We'll see what happens. Anyway, guys, have yourself a good night. Right? So talk to you next week on AEW Dynamite as well as my solo. It will be Grand Slam, so we'll be talking about Grand Slam and all the things that occur on Grand Slam next week. And have yourself a good one, and peace with the journey. Yada, yada, yada.